So welcome back, guys. It's Kids Coding Playground here. Today we'll be doing a video on TeamSeas. If you've been paying attention on YouTube, you might know what TeamSeas is, because like literally every single YouTuber has made a video about TeamSeas. It's basically a thing where Mr. Beast, every dollar you donate, you get 1 pound of trash removed from the ocean. So for this video, in the next 24 hours, the amount of likes we get is the amount of money we donate to TeamSeas. So you better like this video if you want to see more money donated. Yeah.
Every single like on this video in 24 hours equals $1 for every single like in the next 24 hours on this video. So be sure to smash that like button.
Yeah. So, and then we will be also showing a game for TeamSeas. We made a game for it. So I'll be showing you guys the demonstration of the game. So right now we have the TeamSeas Trash Collector, and then so let's go to full screen, and then you just move around. You press spacebar. You grab the trash, and when you grab it, it increases your pounds of trash. As you can see, grab all that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple, but it's kind of like a TeamSeas game where you just collect trash. Yeah, so a game on TeamSeas, sorry. Okay, so now let's hop into the project. Okay, so let's hop right into this tutorial. So I just started a new project, and let's rename the project. We're gonna name it TeamSeas Trash Collector Game. And then we're going to delete the scratch cat. We're going to get some sprites from what we had before. We have the TeamSeas, like the trash collector, like the boat, and then with the net that it shoots out, the garbage. Oh, there it is. Okay. And then we have the ocean. This is the scrolling background, and then we can also put the ocean in here. So we're also going to use the same ocean thing for the background. So sometimes when you're scrolling, you see this like white area, so we don't want that, so we're also going to put the sea ocean for the background. So I'm going to show you how we draw it. So I'm going to create a new costume. So I'm going to just like this and delete it. So what we do is get the, so we're going to get the backdrop from, it's called City with Water. Yeah, this one. So basically we're only going to need this water down here. So we're going to convert to bitmap. So keep yourself on bitmap, and we're just going to cut a small chunk of it out. Control-C, Control-V. As you can see, you just flip vertical because the dark area looks really ugly with the light area. So if you flip it, so let's say if you like click it and then you flip it, it will look really ugly because like there's the dark and light together. It doesn't look good. So what you do is just keep on Control-C, Control-V, copying like the light area, and just copy paste and stack them on top of each other, as you can see. Okay, so it'll look something like that. So what I do is like I only get the light part, I'm gonna get all of that, and then paste it to the right side where it's a little bit darker, so it looks a little bit better. Yeah, so kind of like that. So you get the idea of how to do it. It's not perfect, obviously. You can perfect it however you want. Just copy this into the other backdrop. Okay, so that's how you do it. But we have this in our Google Drive if you would like to download it, or you can just export it straight from this project in the link in the description. You need both the ocean and the backdrop since we're going to be doing the scrolling with the ocean, so we're going to have to use both of them, and it's just the same thing on both things. Okay, so now let's go to the boat. I'll show you how to draw this one as well. So here we have the boat. My dad drew this boat actually, so I'm going to try to draw it, but I'm not that good at drawing. I'll try to do it as best as I can. So first I'm going to show you what's inside the boat. So we're going to ungroup everything first. We have the white part, this is like part of the boat, and this blue part's the back, just like the tail of the boat. Oops. And then here we have the two, like, this is like the top of the boat. And then right here we have the blue part, which is the glass, and the black part is basically a smaller version of the white part, but it's just all black. And then we have the blue part, which represents the glass of the boat, and the lines are just like, I don't know, like, you know how boats have that little line thing? I'll just put an image right here to show you. So yeah, that's basically what it is. So for this, you have to like be sure what layers your like drawings are on. They can be in the back or the front layer. You need them in either the back or front layer. So I'm gonna be drawing it, but I'm gonna like speed it up a little bit with the time lapse, so we can save you guys a little bit of time. Okay, so we're going to draw our boat now. I'm gonna time lapse it like I said before. Save you guys a little bit of time, but this is how it looks like. I'm gonna try to draw it as best as I can. Okay, so now I just finished. I don't think it's as good as the original one, as you can see right here. So now we're gonna just rotate the boat to the right side. So I'm gonna select the whole thing, and I'm just gonna get the flip. I'm gonna group it and then flip horizontal, so then it goes to the other side. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how you draw it. That's just like fast time lapse of how you draw it. Okay, so now let's go to the net. How to draw the net. So basically, for the net, it's just like a giant circle right here, and then we reshape it and drag it out, and then we just draw some lines. See the lines? There's just some lines. We reshape the lines as well, and then one longer line, some thicker line right here, and then we just make a bunch of costumes, and then we make it further each time. So we'll zoom out a little bit. So as you can see, it goes a little bit further each time. Each costume it goes a little further. So that's basically how you do it. And there's 8 costumes we have. So that's pretty much how you draw it. You can just get it from our Google Drive or export it just from here. And our trash is basically just like different assortment of trash, like bags, cans, bottles. We drew this in our like Earth game, our Save the Earth game. Here we have the plastic rings. It's just some clear, some open circles, some white open circles. And then here, just fill it up right here with like a closed circle with a colored one. So yeah, that's pretty much how you draw it. And these bottles, cans, and bags we just got from online. We did not draw it. Okay, so enough with the drawing. So now let's get to the coding. Alright, so now let's go delete this, and then let's go. Alright, so inside the code, we are going to, inside the TeamSeas boat, we're going to get it when green flag clicked. Let's zoom in. Alright, so when green flag clicked, we are going to go to -125, and then for Y position -50, and then point direction of 90, so it's pointing to the right side, and then we're going to get a forever loop, and then we're going to go to the front layer. So we want the boat to be in the front layer, so we're going to make it go to the front, and then if on edge bounce, we don't want it to go off the screen, so we're just going to do bounce so it stays on the screen. And then we're going to get a if-then statement. And then we're going to get if up arrow is pressed. So if the key up is pressed, then we're going to change the Y by 10. We will come back to the boat after to code some other stuff for some other, like casting the net and collecting trash. But we will change it. We'll do it afterwards. And also we have to select this one. I forgot to tell you that. Because we don't want the boat to rotate upside down. So if you just like do this, that means you can rotate the boat all around. So we just want to select the middle thing so it doesn't rotate upside down when you move left and right. Okay, and then we're gonna duplicate this. If the down arrow is pressed, then we're gonna change the Y by -10. And then we can duplicate all of this. Instead, we're gonna do X position now. So when the right arrow is pressed, we're gonna change the X by 10. And when the left arrow is pressed, we're going to change the X by -10. So there we have the simple movement of the boat. And then we also have to point in direction of which side the boat is pointing towards. So for right arrow, we're going to point in direction of 90, which is facing the right side, and left arrow is going to be -90. Okay. Okay, so now let's save the project, run it. So it's basically just, you can move around the boat now. Okay, so now we can just have the simple movement of the boat. Now let's go into the net. So inside the net, we're going to get we're going to make two variables inside the nets. So one variable is going to be called casting the net. Alright, so casting the net for all sprites. Casting the net, and the other variable will be called trash collecting. So we can just name it trash collecting. Trash collecting. So this is collecting the trash. And we're going to make another variable. Those are the two we'll use for now, but we'll make another one called pounds of trash. So this is basically the score. It's just going to calculate how many pounds of trash you have picked up. And then finally we have the trash counter. That's to keep track of how many pieces of trash are on the screen at once. Alright, and then inside this net, we are going to... First, let's just uncheck all these. We'll keep the pounds of trash out. Oops, not trash collected. Pounds of trash is basically the score. We'll keep that on out. Alright, and then so inside here, the net, we're going to get a when green flag clicked. When green flag is clicked, we are going to set casting the net to no, which is N. Casting the net to no. So in the beginning, you're not casting a net. And we're going to hide. And then forever, we're going to use the space bar to release the net. So if the key space is pressed, we're going to set casting the net to yes, which is Y. And then we're going to point direction. So we have to pay attention right here. So we use this thing. You have to check this thing first. So we're going to get this TeamSeas boat. Select the TeamSeas boat first before we can do anything here. We're going to point direction of the TeamSeas boat. So now point in the direction of this boat. And we're going to get an if-else statement. So go to control. If-else. If direction of TeamSeas boat is greater than 0. Direction of the TeamSeas boat, we can just like duplicate this. Direction of the TeamSeas boat is greater than 0. We're going to do 0. So let's say the direction is pointing 0. If it's greater than 0, we're going to put the net release plus 100 this way. So 0 would be about right here, right? So we're going to do it this way. We're going to make it positive if it's greater than 0. So we're going to make it go to duplicate this. So we're going to go to the X position of the TeamSeas boat, and then we're going to get an addition sign. We're going to add 100. So the net will go 100, like 100 steps forward. So we'll just go 100 forward. So we're going to add 100 to this. And then we're just going to get the same Y position of the TeamSeas boat. The Y position does not change. And let's just duplicate this. Else, let's say you're pointing the other direction. Then we're going to change the X position by TeamSeas boat, and instead we're going to add -100. Or you can just use the subtraction sign and -100, but for the simplicity, we're just going to keep the addition and just do adding -100. And then next, we're going to broadcast and wait for a message. We're going to broadcast and wait because we don't want like the boat to move around while you're throwing the net. So we're gonna broadcast a message. You can name it cast the net. Cast the net, and then we're gonna set casting the net to no. And then since we already set it to Y up here, as you can see, yes, when the space is pressed, it's going to set it to yes, and then after this action is finished, we're gonna set it back to no, as you can see. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this, and then we're gonna receive the message. So when I receive the message casting the net, then we're going to switch the costume to costume 1, which is the first costume. So let's go to the costumes, the first one. And then we're going to go to the front layer. And then we're going to go backward 1 layer. So we want it to be on top of like the garbage, but under the boat. So that's what we want. Go backward 1 layer. So we're just going to do that. And then we're going to show the net. And then we're going to repeat 7 times. Because we're starting on the costume 1, so we only have to do 7 times. So we're going to repeat 7 times, and then we're going to wait 0.1 seconds. And then we're going to next costume. If you just heard that fireworks, is because like the Diwali celebrations, they're just like having fireworks outside. Just like ignore that for now. And then wait 0.5 seconds right here before sending it back. So we're gonna wait 0.5 seconds. Make sure the costume is on costume 8. We're gonna wait 0.5 seconds before bringing the net back. We can just duplicate this and put it down here. But instead, we're gonna have to use subtraction. So we're gonna, instead of next costume, we're gonna switch the costume to costume number subtracted by 1, because we want to subtract 1 and go back to the first one. So we're gonna subtract each one until we get back to the first costume. Subtraction. So costume number subtract by 1. Okay, let me move this over by a little bit so you can see. And then we're gonna wait 0.5 seconds and then hide the net again. So let's zoom out. I'll show you the code and then I'll demonstrate how it works. Alright, so now we can move around. You can see when you press the spacebar, the net goes out and comes back. Net goes out, comes back. Obviously, we have to make it like not move when you're throwing the net, and we will work on that now. So, okay, so now let's go back to the TeamSeas boat. I told you guys we would go back here after we finish something. So we're just gonna combine 2 AND statements. So if the up arrow key is pressed and it's equal to the casting net is equal to no. So we're only gonna let it move if the casting net is equal to n. Casting the net is equal to 0, n, and we're going to use another variable called collecting trash, like I said earlier. So we're going to and collecting trash collecting or whatever is equal to no. So we'll use that later. You don't have to worry about for now, but just put it into the code and just duplicate this all and put this in here. Take this out. Put this in here. Duplicate this, put this in here, oops, substitute that, and put that in there, duplicate 1 more time, put that in here, and switch this out. Okay, so now we are finally done with that. Let's play it. So now, as you can see, you cannot move if there is a net being casted. So you can see, and we'll have to reset the casting net back to right now. You cannot move this yet because we have not set the variable trash collecting. So now we are going to set up the variable trash collecting, so then we can actually move the ship now. Okay, so now we're going to go back to get to the trash sprite. So we're going to go to the trash. Inside the trash, we're going to get a 1 green flag clicked. Let's just zoom in. When green flag clicked, we're going to set the trash counter to 0, and we're going to set the pounds of trash to 0, and we're going to set the collecting to no. Trash collecting to no. So now it should work, so let's try it out. So as you can see, when you throw the net, you cannot move. Once the net is gone, you can move freely again. So there we go. Now it's working fine. So now we have to finish the code for the trash. So in the trash, we're going to make it go to the front layer, and then make it go backwards 3 layers, so that it's behind the boat and the nets. So we're going to make it go backwards 3 layers. We want it in front of some layer, but behind some other layers. We want it in front of the ocean, but we want it behind some other layers, like the boat and the net. And we're going to hide. And forever loop. Waits 1 to 3 seconds. So we're going to wait a pick random 1 to 3 seconds before it starts spawning the trash. So 1 to 3. And then we're going to put it as a max limit as 4 clones. So sometimes it might go to 4, but it'll never go higher than 4. Because sometimes the clones generate too quickly. But we're going to make it so it's less than 4. But sometimes the 4th one can generate. So trash counter is less than 4. And then we're going to wait 0.2 seconds. We want to put a 0.2 seconds because we want variety inside. So right now we have like 6 costumes, you see. So if we don't wait, then it won't, there'll be like no variety in the trash, and it'll all look the same. So that's why we need that. And then we're going to put create a clone of myself after this. And then up here, when we start as a clone, we are going to, when I start as a clone, we are going to change the trash counter by 1. Change trash counter by 1, and then we're going to go to, okay, so let's go to negative 180 to 180 for the X position. Oops. To 180, and then for the Y, we're going to go pick random negative 130 to 130. Okay, and then we're going to switch costume, and we're going to put a pick random 1 to 6. And then we're going to show, and forever, if it's touching the net, then we're going to set the collecting, like the trash collecting to yes when it's touching the net. And then we're going to wait 2 seconds, and then we're going to drag the trash back. So we're going to point in direction, and then we're going to get this block right here, point direction, and then we're going to get the TeamSeas boat, and we're going to get the direction of that, and we're going to glide 2 seconds, and then we're going to glide, no, wrong one, glide 2 seconds to the TeamSeas boat, right there. And we're going to change the pounds of trash by pick random 10 to 30. Change the pounds of trash to 10 to 30. If you guys have no idea what pounds are because you are like from a different country that does not use pounds, you can put kilograms of trash, I don't know. It's basically the same thing. And then we're going to set collecting, trash collecting to no. So after that, after you bring it back, it's going to set it to no. And then change the trash counter by -1. Once you take 1, you're going to change the trash counter by -1. And then we're going to delete this clone once it is all gone. So, right there. As you can see, that's all the code. I'll let you just put in anything you missed. And then finally, we have the ocean. So, for the ocean, we're going to make this scrolling backdrop. So I learned this tutorial from the Scratch team, so if you want to check out the original video, you can check it out. So I'm just going to give credit to them for showing me how to do this. This is pretty cool. So like, we got to get a 1 green flag clicked. And then we're going to go to the back layer. So we're going to make like the ocean move, so you can see like the water moving. Go to the back layer, and then we're going to go to 0, 0, so we're going to the origin of the screen, 0, 0. And then we're going to create a clone of myself. And then we're going to forever. And then if else, we're going to get if else. So if else the X position is greater than -450. -450 is like somewhere right here. So if this X is like greater than -450, so if it's greater than -450, the X position is greater than -450. We are going to change the X by -1. So it's going to keep on sliding this way to the left. We're going to change the X by -1. And then else we're gonna go to 450, and then we're gonna get a 0. So else is gonna go to that position. And then when I start as a clone, the clone is pretty much the same thing. When I start as a clone, we can just duplicate this part, except we can just remove some of this. We do not need this, and 450 for that X, and then we're gonna make it to go to the back layer. Go to back layer. Go to back layer, and just keep all this. Alright. So now the game is pretty much complete. Just wait for the trash to come out. Oh, okay. We have to make the trash. Maybe we have to make the trash go 4 layers forward, maybe? 2 layers backwards, maybe? I don't remember the exact... Yeah, now you can see. There you go. So you can see you can drag the trash in. There you go. 25 pounds of trash. So now the game is working like we did before. So sometimes if you drag it from the end, it'll have like a little bit delay, but it's okay. It looks fine. Yes, so now we're finished with our game, and it's working perfectly fine. So that is pretty much for today's video. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the video. If you want to check out more information about TeamSeas, it's in the description below. TeamSeas.org if you want to donate money to TeamSeas for saving the environment and stuff like that. It's also going to be the link in the description. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Like we mentioned in the beginning of the video, every like this video gets in the next 24 hours, we will donate $1 to TeamSeas for every like we get. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and ring the notification bell, and I'll see you guys in the next video.